Before we begin, he invites viewers to drop their city and local time in the comments. Maybe someone in Sydney is brushing their teeth right now while somebody in Detroit is deciding if leftover pizza counts as breakfast. Then he takes a breath and rolls into it, the story heavy on his chest. The morning is his sanctuary. 5:15 bruise-colored sky refrigerator hums steady as a baseline. He nurses black coffee so strong it could clean rust off a shovel pulls on denim boots, the high-vis shirt that feels like armor. He's a carpenter, and not the slap two boards and hope kind. He builds decks that hold laughter frames, houses that cradle futures. Historians still argue whether medieval stonemasons felt the same holy rhythm he feels with every nail-driven flush, but he believes they did. His hands are scarred poetry, calloused verses in a book only laborers read. That Tuesday, the smell of cut wood and primer sharp in the air, he strides to the site. A transitional neighborhood, old, modest homes squeezed by new oversized boxes. His crew, a chorus of saws and nail guns, plays the symphony of creation. His partner, S, works silent, just nods and grunts a language built on trust. And then there's her. The house next door, pristine like it's allergic to dust. On the steps, a woman carved from bleached straw and stubbornness. Silk gown, manicured nails, eyes colder than a January windshield. She watches him, not them, just him, like he's on trial already. S mutters, "She's staring at you, man, like you stole something." He shrugs, cracks a joke about fans of craftsmanship. Nobody laughs. Days pass her stare like a splinter he can't dig out. Then Thursday, she clicks onto the site in white dress and lacquered hair. He's mid-sandwich. She doesn't say, "Excuse me." She says, "You." Her son's Superman shirt, flapping, lingers in the background, training his gaze on the same target, learning who the enemy is. She evaluates him like livestock. Strong, available. Her words drop heavy as bricks. She needs someone to run her boy ragged, she says. Charity board, social obligations, her time's valuable. His time clearly expendable. She waves her jeweled hand, dismissing his actual job, his sweat, his craft as noise and dirt. She doesn't ask, she commands. Babysit my son, for free. He rises to full height, shadow stretching across her polished world. "Ma'am, I am a carpenter. This is my job. I am not available." Respect gone steel in his voice. Her mask slips, fury boiling up. "Do you know who I am?" she spits. He repeats the forbidden word, "no." And just like that, the stage is set, her shrieking voice, his steady stance, the boy's wide eyes, the neighborhood about to witness a play they didn't audition for. The air thickens with her rage words spilling like shards of glass. "You people," she hisses, and with those two words, the whole script reveals itself. It's not about babysitting. It's about power, about putting him where she thinks he belongs. He holds his ground, arms crossed, stone-faced, knowing silence is his only shield. Because in this country, his anger would be recast as aggression faster than a rumor in a high school hallway. Then comes her final weapon, the phone. Jewel-encrusted, shaking in her hand. "I'm calling the police. I'll have you arrested." His blood runs cold. Every black man in America knows that icy shiver when police are invoked. He stands still, crew-frozen tools limp in their hands. Sirens or not, he hears them echoing already. The cops arrive. One older with a mustache that's lost the war against gravity. One younger, eyes, sharp hand resting casually on his gun like a cat pretending not to stalk. They go straight to her. Of course they do. She performs her part, tears flowing on cue voice, quivering about aggression, trespass threats. "I'm a widow. I was terrified." Historians still argue whether Greek tragedy masks were more convincing than the performance she's giving right there on her porch. When they finally turn to him, it's not, "Sir, what happened?" It's, "Hands on your head." He explains lunch break on the site she came to him. The crew stares at their boots. Nobody wants to risk wages on the truth. S. silence cuts deepest. He searched, treated like the villain in a story already written. No arrest this time, but the warning is clear. Walk softer, shrink smaller, manage her fear for her. Next morning, his sister wakes him with a phone in her trembling hands. A video. Film from her upstairs window, edited to start right at his voice booming. "Ma'am, you need to leave this work site now." From that angle, he's a looming giant, arms crossed. She's a fragile figure in white finger raised in fear. The caption poisons it. "This workman is terrorizing our neighborhood. Please share." By dawn, thousands of views. By noon, his name exposed, his company bombarded. Slurs flood the comments. "Thug animal, why wasn't he arrested?" His foreman, Frank, heavy-voiced, suspends him. "I've got to protect the business," he says. Translation: the mob matters more than the truth. His sanctuary of work collapses overnight. Paranoia settles in. Neighbors cross the street to avoid him. Mr. Kim at the corner store can't meet his eyes. A note under his door hisses, "Go back where you came from." Funny considering he was born 3 miles away. He paces his apartment, trapped not by bars but by Pixel's reputation, shredded by a 45-second clip. Hope appears unexpectedly in the boy. Superman, standing small on his manicured lawn, whispers across the street, "You didn't scare me. You just looked sad." He confesses his mother did the same to his teacher last year, tried to get her fired. A pattern. A sickness. It's dangerous knowledge from a child. A spark in the dark. He takes it to his cousin Tamika, a paralegal with iron in her spine. She calls it what it is: defamation, interference, racial weaponization. The plan is simple: dismantle the lie piece by piece. Tamika digs like a detective hunting for that teacher. Within days, she finds Ms. Nami, shoulders weary from battles no educator signs up for. The woman had accused her of everything from favoritism to alcoholism, filed complaints, poisoned reputations, forced a transfer. But Ms. Nami kept receipts, emails, reports, sworn affidavits, a manila folder thick as a brick. It isn't just evidence, it's a wrecking ball aimed straight at Karen's porcelain facade. Evelyn Reed, the lawyer. Tamika ropes in, delivers it to the DA. Overnight, the burglary case collapses. No evidence, no credibility, no appetite for a trial that would turn their grieving widow into a proven serial harasser. The charges dissolve like sugar in coffee. But Evelyn isn't satisfied. She files a civil suit: defamation, emotional distress, lost wages. Not just defense offense. And this carpenter, who knows how to build carefully and steadily, feels the first true spark of hope. The reporter comes next. Jean, sharp-eyed, skeptical, relentless. She digs deeper than social media ever did. Interviews Frank, coaxing him to speak up. Interviews Ms. Nami under protection. Even S, haunted by silence, admits he saw Karen set her phone before storming onto the site. She hadn't just caught a moment. She staged it. That revelation hits harder than any hammer blow. When the segment airs, it flips the script. The viral villain clip plays first. Then Jean's voice cuts in calm as a surgeon's hand. Tonight, we tell the rest of the story. Evidence rolls out: teacher complaints, body cam requests, Frank's testimony, S's confession. Finally, a camera catches Karen herself. She shrieks no comment and slams her perfect door. That single frame undoes her entire act. Public opinion turns with the force of a riptide. The mob that once hunted him now circles her. Charities drop, her neighbors whisper her son is taken by her sister. The house once immaculate grows weeds. She wanted to control everything. Instead, she loses it all. He regains his job, even a promotion. Frank apologizing with genuine shame. The settlement comes money, yes, but more importantly, a public retraction. Cold and sterile, yet permanent. Life slowly stitches itself back together. A small house with a yard, a workshop, barbecues with his sister. But scars remain. A police cruiser still makes his gut tighten. A neighbor's sidelong glance still stings. He learned survival isn't about being unbreakable, it's about rebuilding after someone tries to tear you down. He never sees Karen again. The for sale sign goes up, her ghost vanishes. But he remembers the boy. Superman in pajama pants, whispering that he looked sad, not scary. That child carried truth when adults looked away. Maybe he'll grow up freer than his mother's lies, maybe he won't. That's the lingering ache. So he tells his story now. Because an NDA might silence facts, but not the weight of lived truth. Because next time you see a viral clip that fits a stereotype too neatly, you should ask what happened before the camera rolled, who benefits from this version of events. He was lucky he had allies' receipts, a boy's honesty. Without them, he'd be a statistic. And he closes softly, voice lowering like dusk settling over a job site. Life is fragile, he says. A reputation can topple faster than a rotted fence in a storm. But foundations can be rebuilt scarred yet strong. He's still mending fences, both wooden and human, still finding redemption in honest work. And as the night folds in, he leaves one quiet reminder: truth may stumble, but it never truly falls. Now the telling eases tone, stretching out softer, calmer. The rush of courtrooms and camera crews gives way to something slower, like sawdust, settling in a shaft of afternoon light. He speaks more gently now, like a craftsman putting away tools at the end of a long day. The world outside is still loud, still restless, but inside this space it can be still for a while. He wants listeners to breathe, to let shoulders drop, to loosen the tightness coiled in the chest. Because yes, injustice can flare suddenly, and yes, lies can gain momentum faster than truth. But so too can compassion rise up when least expected. Remember that a boy's whisper of honesty, a cousin's steady hand, a lawyer's unshakable stance. Those small points of light are what keep the dark from swallowing everything whole. The story has carried jagged edges, but the ending doesn't have to. It can soften. It can remind you that storms pass and foundations, though cracked, can hold steady if we tend them with care. He thinks about fences, mended decks, built family gathered close. He thinks about the gift of one more morning coffee, the comfort of routine, the simple rhythm of hammer meeting nail. Those things endure. So tonight, as you ease into rest, let go of the noise, the accusations, the weight of strangers' judgments. Picture the calm of sawdust drifting, the quiet hum of a refrigerator at dawn, the certainty of work well done. Trust that even if the world tries to knock you down, you can rise, rebuild, and stand steady again. And now, with that image in mind, he bids you peace, sweet dreams.